Laine Hardy, here we are a little over a year later, and as I'm speaking today, you have made it into the top 8 on American Idol, which means, of course, that a lifelong career doing what you love to do may be within your grasp, no matter how this thing turns out. People get to that level, and a lot of times they go on and have very successful careers later, and you have an audience. I don't think there's any doubt about that. When I saw you on American Idol a little over a year ago, my first thought was, that's the one. That's the one that needs to win. And I felt that the judges really made a bad mistake in eliminating you last year. But you know, there's a case to be made that things happen for a reason, and it all may work out better for you, the fact that it didn't happen then. I haven't seen all of the performances this year. I haven't seen every episode of American Idol, but I did see your performance of Hurricane, and then the other night I saw your performance of the Robin Hood song. I can't think of the title of it right off, but the Robin Hood song on Disney Night. And I've got to tell you, when I first saw it, I thought this Elvis type makeover, I wasn't really sure that was going to work for you, but then you did the Robin Hood song, and I thought, well, yeah, it's all coming together. It all seems to be coming together. You seem to have found your groove, and that's really a great thing. Now, I saw Caleb and Maddie perform the other day, and they're good performers. There's no doubt about that. But for me, there was just something missing there. I do feel like that you would have been the best winner last year, but, you know, things could go a lot better. I have no doubt that you have pursued the opportunities that life has presented in the last year, and no doubt that you have grown and developed and gotten a lot better, and I'm so glad to see you back in the competition and see you reach this level with a national performance. You know, the thing that I would say to you a lot of times is that successful performers, people who have the long careers, a lot of times what they do is find their formula, they find their thing, and then they kind of stick with that thing. I can think of a number of examples over the years. Jimmy Buffett did that. The late John Denver, who we lost much too soon, did that. The Beach Boys have certainly done that, and now they're in their 70s, and they're still out there on the road performing. And that's the great thing about music. That can stay with you for your entire life. You know, when you think of the music industry, there are people in their 70s and 80s who are still performing. A lot of times with athletes and the athletic competition, you know, that kind of comes and goes. Not everybody can be Chuck Norris and just keep going for the rest of their life. Music is something that can really stick with you for the rest of your life, and it really is a great thing to see what's happened with you. Now, some things that I would say is just keep being the Laine Hardy that we like, that we learned to like last year. I talked in my last video last year about how your personality absolutely is a good fit for superstardom, and I mentioned the names of a lot of famous people who are in fact introverts, because there's this public persona they have, and then there's also their private life, and there is a separation between the two. And you do see some of who they really are in their public persona, but they also maintain a private life. And as your career moves forward, one thing that I would like to mention is there are a couple different kinds of celebrities. There are the kind that you read about in the tabloids and see on Entertainment Tonight and Access Hollywood and some of those shows, and they're always in the news because they're doing bad things. You know, stardom, celebrity does have its pitfalls, and it gets to a lot of people. You know, there was this song done by this country singer, I can't remember his name. It's about being a celebrity, and it talks about when you're a celebrity, this and that, the other happened, and it mentions some of the bad things that people get into, and there are various temptations and things that can get you sidetracked. Every time I see one of these news bulletins that another celebrity has left us, I'm thinking, it's the same old thing, and it usually is. It's usually drug abuse or something like that. So there's that kind of celebrity. But then there are others who just do their work, just live basically good lives and please their audiences, and they have long enduring success, and they're never in the news because they're doing bad things. And that's the kind that you want to be. That's the kind that just do the work, just do the good work, and live a good life and keep your life private and your personal life private. And that's the kind of celebrity that you want to be, not the kind who are in the tabloids and making all kinds of bad news all the time. Some people think, I guess, that doing bad things that capture a lot of attention gets them publicity, and any publicity is good publicity. Well, that's not necessarily true. The people with the best careers don't do all these bad things. They live pretty decent lives. They're pretty good people, as I believe you are, and that's the kind of celebrity that you want to be. If your career moves forward, as I think it will, you're going to be presented with contracts later on down the line. Now, I think in the early part of your career, you won't have as much leverage as you will after you get some success. But the important thing about contracts is know what you're signing. Be very careful that you know what you're signing. If it's not in that paperwork, then they're not obligated to do it. And I expect you'll be needing to sign a contract that will be written under California law. California law is different from Louisiana law, and it's very important to understand and know what you're signing. If they don't have it in the contract, then they're not obligated to do it, no matter what anyone else tells you. I expect that somewhere along the line you'll probably need an agent. An experienced agent, that's not me, an experienced agent in the Los Angeles and the Hollywood area who can help you do things to advance your career. I'm certainly hoping that you'll have good management when you sign on with a record company, because I do believe you'll be signing on with a record company pretty soon. There is some good talent in there this year. I didn't really see that fully until the top 8 were announced the other night, but you do have some really stiff competition as far as who might win this thing. I like Alejandro and Alyssa and Wade. Wade is really good. Some of these other people, they are really good performers. I don't think they're quite at your level, and it would be nice if they all got careers of some sort. I kind of hope they do. I like Wade. I like Alyssa. I like a lot of these other people, but I do think that you are the top performer in there, and I think that you have the potential to have the best career of any of them, regardless of whether you win that title or not. So you're getting to a level where I don't think you have to worry too much about whether you actually win the title. Oh, go for it, definitely. Reach for the stars. Somebody told me one time, reach for the stars, and if you just make the clouds, you've gone a lot farther than most other people have. And we live in a time when I think people should pursue their dreams. If they have a big talent that can lead to an extraordinary life, then they should certainly pursue that. And that's a good thing to do. You mentioned in one segment that I saw the other day, going to church, dressing up in suits and going to church. I do hope that you will continue to do that, to stay grounded. I will say that in my life, in my personal experience, if your faith is really part of you, if it's really in here, then I don't think it's necessary to be inside the doors of the church every time it's open if it's really part of you. But I do think you should keep going. Hold on to your beliefs to stay grounded. Be a good person, and I certainly do think that you have that potential. I was wondering what had happened with you as the season was approaching. I remembered that video that I had done last year, and I just kind of wondered where things had gone with you. And then you turn up and you audition. You wasn't going to do it to start with, but they persuaded you to and got you in the competition. I wonder if they realized they made a mistake last year, because I certainly do see that as a mistake. But I think you've reached a point now where very shortly, well, you're already on your way, and you can achieve great heights in this career, and some really good things are going to happen for you later on. Your performances are just outstanding, but I think also the audience just kind of, we like who we see. We like the person that we see. You're the kind of guy that we could sit down and have a conversation with and talk to all day. You have some very down to earth interests. That's a good thing. The hunting and the fishing. Don't let anything stop you from doing that. Wherever you end up living, you'll probably want to go back and visit Louisiana sometime. It's a very interesting place. I don't see why performers from places like Alabama and Georgia and Mississippi necessarily want to go back, but Louisiana is a very interesting place. But you may want to have a home on the West Coast. That may benefit you. So, I'm really, really glad to see you back this year. I'm not at all surprised that you are in the top 8. I hope that you will keep fighting and try to win that prize. But regardless what happens, I think you've got a really promising future. So, having said all that, I'll just say good luck with this competition, and I hope that you have a wonderful career. You've certainly got the potential. There's no doubt about that.